r/AskReddit. What are some early warning signs of trouble that everyone should know about? Heard this from a previous thread. If you see a murder of crows flying in rain, get to high ground. Crows hate flying in rain and only will if their roosting tree has been felled by floodwaters. Edit. Crows, not cows. Be honest. You just wanted to say murder of crows. Edit. My top 2 comments are about birds. For some reason, I think I'll start specializing in bird law. Who doesn't? If someone is angry and they start repeating the same phrase over and over, they are about to punch you. Start backing up or stay away. You need to leave. Leave or I call the guards. You need to leave. You need to leave. Never should have come here. Number stop right there. Criminal scum. The water begins to recede drastically. You mean I shouldn't go walking out in the former water covered area to gawk at the crap in the wet sand? Only if you're a really good swimmer. When corporate hires a consulting team to increase efficiencies in the processes. When that happens, it is definitely time to polish up the resume. My reasoning: if corporate leadership needs someone from the outside to tell them how to rid themselves of waste, either A, they have no clue how their own business operates, or B, they have no faith in their own management to get the job done, or C, both. All of which are good reasons to start finding another company to work for. My employer paid $750,000 for one of these studies. They expected to find out they could cut a bunch of staff. What they discovered is they are understaffed by almost half. None of us were surprised. Similar story at a company my friend worked for. I like to imagine the situation as a meeting between the company board and the consultancy team that opens up with, "Hey, did you ever think you'd retain employees and get better work if you paid them the same or more than the industry standard and didn't treat them like garbage?" If a group of people are walking towards you snapping their fingers in unison, it's about to go down. Especially if they call you Daddy-O. Lots of ammo and or a save point. Tough boss fight ahead. Armored Core. Metal Gear Solid. And Fallout laugh. Fallout. There's a big fight coming up. Here's 7 bullets. A sudden change in your boss or coworker's attitude toward you. I noticed that my coworkers had suddenly become rather cold toward me for a couple of weeks. And my hunch was correct. They all knew I was getting fired, and they were interviewing people to be my replacement at the time. I live in an area where you know enough people that before you go to an interview you know somebody who works there, so you call them and ask about the job. I had no idea the job I was applying for was the job of the person I called. I just said, "What is doing X job like there?" and she just said she was the only one with that job and started crying. If someone tries to recruit you for a job, phone call, email, approaches you in public, and they skirt around the subject of what the job is, and try to get you to come in for an interview before telling you what the job actually is, it's either a scam or sales. Generally 100% commission based. I was working a paying job one time and a customer came in and started chatting me up, eventually telling me I was a smart person and telling me about a business opportunity I should take a look at. I was pretty ignorant at the time, but later realized he was using qualifying questions to get me into his Amway quick stubbies. I had a lady strike up a conversation within the grocery store. I was feeling a bit lonely at the time, recently moved to a city, looking for friends. So I got kind of excited. Hey, maybe I just met someone cool. We'll hang out. I ended up giving her my phone number. And the next day she called me with an exciting career opportunity. What a bummer. Whenever your employer starts a conversation with "there's no easy way to say this," quickly eliminate him before he can finish the sentence. Eliminate? That's a bit drastic. No? That's what I want. A glass eliminate. Job interview. We are a family business, but doesn't offer healthcare options. We aren't really into job titles. Acker, I hate my job. Yep. I fell for that one. We don't really do contracts around here. It's more of a handshake type of place. Translates to we can fire you at any moment for any reason. Almost no jobs in the US are contracted for set periods of time and you can be fired for no reason without warning. You cannot fast travel when enemies are nearby. Well, duck. It's a mud crab. It's always a damn crab. Or a slaughterfish. If you show up to a friend's party only to find a circle of chairs set up in the living room and a basket of plastic ware, you're about to be sold to for 2.5 hours. Or they're having an intervention for you. Either way, leave. When the higher ups in the company start moving to other companies at less high up titles. That is, the COO becoming just a department VP somewhere else. Or a VP taking a job at the director level. This is true. The higher ups usually get wind of big company changes first and jump ship accordingly. Yahoo. Nuff said. If you're swimming and feel like you're going nowhere, you may be stuck in a rip current. LPT, if you are being pulled out by a rip current, do not try and swim towards the beach. Turn 90 degrees and swim parallel to the beach. Rip currents are long and narrow. Once you are clear of it, you can begin swimming for the beach. Rip currents suck and are aptly named RIP. Can confirm. Got caught in a rip current once. Took me about 10-15 seconds to realize I was making negative progress to shore. I was moderately drunk and starting to get very tired. I started to freak out a little. But remember this. 15-30 seconds of leisurely swimming got me out of the current and I made normal progress back to shore. The moment I was back on land, I had a holy hit. Knowledge is power moment. This hit is real, folks. Music intensifies. Cries in Spanish. Dances in Indian. Someone I know made 3 suicide jokes within a 2-minute conversation. I knew something was up. She broke down crying when I asked her seriously. Edit, thank you all for the kind words. She's much better. We don't live in the same place. But I called her every day for a few weeks after that, and we had good long conversations about life. Really improved her overall moral. I don't know if she's depressed, but she was going through menopause, so that's my guess. Good work. A real friend doesn't stand by and hope for the best. When your mum says your full name, you know it's about to go down. So, my son's name is James. I call him James Earl Jones, just as a jokey nickname sometimes. And it backfired pretty heavily when he did some really bad and, rather than yelling his full name, I said James Earl Jones. You get over that this instant. No. When you hear a drip sound coming from within a wall in your home, but you see no signs of water damage, yet the drip sounds continue steadily, it could be a warning sign that you have a leaky joint in your house's water or heating systems that's going to go from bad to worse if you don't get to the bottom of it. Crap. I was hoping I could just call it personality and leave it alone. I guess I will add that to the to-do list. That slight, almost imperceptible shift in your soul's attention when you start to think they are cheating. When it's a creeping feeling more than anything you have real proof of. Last night I dreamt that my BF was cheating on me and woke him up and asked why he was cheating on me. He starts to tell me he had a dream that some girl pushed him against a wall and started to kiss him. My dream told me that he was cheating in his dream. Thermodynamics. I don't think thermodynamics means what you think it does. A dog waking in circles in the house. It needs to get outside very quickly. Or it's just going to lay down and sleep. Or it's a greyhound that was raised as a race dog and literally can't not walk in circles. I just think it's funny. It's never funny, is it? No. Never funny. Wife suddenly getting new non-specific hobbies and dressing better than normal to go to them. Spending more time on the phone. But walking away to make or take a call. Complaints about you to your parents. Changing the locks while you are away. Duck you. Lynn. This one feels oddly specific, but I can't put my finger on it. Let's see if Lynn knows the answer. Lem, call her real quick. You freak. 15 years later, and that made me feel nauseous. Well played. When your typically noisy kids get really quiet, whatever they're doing is probably not going to be something good. One day when I was but a wee child, My parents noticed my sister and I were eerily quiet. Meanwhile, I had just gotten a bunch of new finger paints and figured, if they are okay for fingers, they will be okay on the rest of our body too. So we proceeded to strip down and cover ourselves in finger paint. We were in my basement that had a linoleum floor, and we noticed that the paint was slippery. So we then decided to dump it all onto the floor and slide around naked like a slip and slide. Needless to say, my parents found us butt-ass naked, covered in a huge mess of paint. Thankfully, they thought it was so funny that they just laughed, put us in the bath, and cleaned it up. Fun times. Well, it's super easy to clean up. Just grab a mop while the kids are in the bath. When someone's self-deprecating jokes are constant, we need an intervention for the entire /r/me eye roll. Haha, it's all ironic, man. Haha. Haha. If you're not allowed to take the contract home to think about before signing it. Nope. Thank you for saving me all that reading. Good day to you. Just had a car salesman try to keep me from taking a day to think things over this weekend. Once you've already made your decision, it's pretty interesting to see all the tricks they use to try and change your mind. Salesman here. Although not in cars. We do this because we know the moment you leave, our chance of a sale goes down by about 95%. The key to being a good salesperson is to know the person you're selling to is pre-qualified. Let them look. And when you approach, hi, I'm Todd Smash. If you guys need anything, I'll be in the office. Yell if you have any questions, or if you'd like a cold drink. QLD Australia is ducking hot at the moment. Then smile and walk away. I spend about $50 a month out of my own pocket on juice and soft drink and bottled water, and I think so far I owe those drinks a lot of money in the commissions they've made me. If you have to hide what you're doing from your friends and family, that's trouble. If someone you don't know says they have a great investment idea for you, it's trouble. If you have to ask if you should be doing something, it's trouble. What if you're planning a surprise party? Trouble. Getting tired or out of breath doing activities that normally didn't affect you. This happened to me and found out my heart had developed an irregular beat. On the other hand, this happened to me and it was just time for me to realize that I had gotten fat. You too. If you work in an urban school and the parents are concerned their child is hanging out with a bad crowd, it might not just be friends who are a bad influence. It could be an actual gang. Many of my local high schools are regular gang recruitment centers. They just busted a ton of them not too long ago. It's the best ducking place to recruit people. People think you're weird. Family issues at home? Duh, you're a teenager. Don't know how you're gonna spend the rest of your life. Low self-esteem? Let's change you. Let's make you stronger, cooler, richer, confident. We'll turn you into what you consider manly. For the low cost of your life. After all, who else is going to care if we don't? One of the worst things you can do to someone else is not give a duck about them. They'll either find someone that does, or find something that helps them forget nobody does. I think a lot of the people that get demonized are there because they were demonized before joining the group they're in. Some rapists, gang members, furries, exil deviants, drug addicts, etc. People just need to feel like their mere existence isn't offensive to the rest of the world. It's kinda sad that such a basic need is ignored in America. Dunno about the rest of the world. Also, I'm positive there's pornsters, furries, drug addicts, etc. that aren't mentally troubled or had a hitty childhood. But I think that it becomes much easier to become one of those when you have a hitty childhood. Or no friends. Something like that. The dogs are acting weird. My dog always acts weird. He thinks he's a worm. Your dog is a worm. You need new glasses.